If only I'd noticed that right there was the right direction, I wouldn't have been lost for 40 years looking for this thing. Anyway, what's good everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dick Dug himself, and today guys we're going to be taking a good long look at my homie Fang Barioth. Now Fang Barioth is a variant to Barioth, so if you guys know what Barioth is, Fang Barioth is supposed to just be older Barioth. Like I do my taxes and I have all kinds of old people stuff, 401ks and I don't know, what else do old people got? I don't know, good stuff. Boomer, if you will, Barioth. So, let's get it out the way real early. Fang Barioth and his weaknesses of that of fire, and then closely after that, thunder. Bring the fire, though. The problem with the fire is that there's no good fire weapons in this game, raw. Like, your best one is probably going to be Silver Rathalos, or if you make something real nice out of Safi, I recommend you make something real nice out of Safi because there's no real good fire weapons. Nevertheless, bring some fire, you should be relatively okay in terms of your weapon choice. Now, your armor, he kind of slaps, okay, guys, he really does. So make sure you have a fair bit of, not fire resistance, ice resistance. You're going to want about 20 ice resistance. Get it in any which way you can. Make sure your armor set has about 1,000 defense, 900 to about 1,000 defense. I mean, he hits pretty hard. I'm going to tell you why he hits pretty hard, but we're going to get to that in a hot second. So outside of that, you're going to be fighting him in the Hoarfrost Reach. He will be in the nest area, if you will, for the majority of the entire time, so there's no real reason to do what I did and run around for 1,000 years to go and find him. He's going to be in this nest area right here, the place where Barioth usually comes to perish and whatnot. He'll come here, he'll be here when you go to fight him. He doesn't really travel before you start fighting him, and he doesn't really travel too much. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about what he can and cannot do. Old man Barioth can do a lot. I mean, he has quite a nifty repertoire of abilities. Now, the way I look at it as if Barioth literally just got old and learned a lot of things in his time, you know? Like, he has a couple of attacks that you would look at and say, okay, Barioth has this attack, it's kind of similar to this attack, but the attack is, like, a lot better now. Like, Barioth can shoot the little ice balls or whatever, well, Fang Barioth shoots a really tough or strong or I don't know, cold ice ball to the point to where it'll really much knock about a good 120 points of your health off for free. It's a very devastating attack, very devastating. Now, the most devastating of all of his attacks is this new I'm calling it the slushy breath. I don't know exactly what it's called. We're gonna call it the slushy breath because I thought, okay, maybe if I have Meyer Walker or polar mobility or whatever, that I would be able to walk freely when hit with the slushy. No, what the slushy does is he'll just breathe on the ground, very akin to, there's a monster that used to do this. I'll have to edit the name in there in a second on the screen or whatever, but he will breathe it on the ground, sometimes in rows of 2. I think I may have seen him do it up to 3, but he'll do at least 1, sometimes rows of 2. Now, if you get hit by this attack or you touch it or whatever, your character is like, ugh, I'm really struggling to move here, and then he takes advantage of that. He'll do one of 2 things. He'll actually shoot either the big ice ball at you that I spoke about before, or he'll do his new and improved pounce attack. Now this, like the jumping way in this guy coming down pounce attack, is very strong. He can do this up to twice actually. He'll fake you out with 1, or you might block 1, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back in for the action. Then he'll follow with another one. I can't really tell you how many times I've been bodied by this particular attack and the way he mixed it up on me, but just know that if you expect one, expect the other as well. I'd like to think he'll do the other one, the double pounce, whenever he's really enraged, so that's something to really look for. He'll do a lot of these really like trollia type attacks when he's enraged, but when he's not really enraged, he isn't very like active on like smacking you very hard, so you'll probably be okay with him not doing the double pounce and maybe doing some really cheap stuff while he's at it. Nevertheless, very tough fight. So as you go to fight him, you need to really understand what he's going to do, when he uses the slushy breath, because that's really what he's gonna do for the majority of the fight. He throws it down all the time. Be ready for it. I recommend, like I said, to bring some ice resistances, because a lot of the other things he'll hit you with will like deplete your stamina, and depending on if you're a lancer or someone who uses blocking abilities like myself, you won't have any stamina to block the pouncing if you actually do get free. It takes a bit, but you can actually get free. Be wary though, because sometimes you'll get free and then you'll block the attack, and then the knockback will knock you back into the slushy. So you block the first pounce, but because you got pushed back into the slushy, your character is like, oh no, I'm stuck all over again, and then you get bodied by the second pounce. So these are things to watch out for. He's very tricky in this regard. Now, outside of those particular attacks, he will do some wall climbing. Very, very, very agile with the wall climbing. A lot of times when he does it, I'm looking in the sky like, where is he going? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. What he does when he does this is, it's almost a mystery to me. He is going to pounce on you for sure. That much I can 100% attest to. He will also like immediately fly back up in some cases and shoot more ice on the ground. I haven't really been hit by that particular attack, but the point isn't to get hit with it immediately. It's the fact that it's just laid on the ground, so that way you have to suffer for it if you're trying to run around again. Essentially, he cuts off the mobility aspect to you as a hunter, making to where you have to like dance around the small space. And that small space is controlled by him because he'll pounce in that small space. But that's essentially how my man fights. It's a very, very good fight. I enjoyed it. We streamed it last night for about 4 hours. Fantastic good time. Okay, we had a blast last stream. It was very fun. His armor and things. Let's actually talk about that real briefly. So the Fang Barioth armor is quite beautiful. I mean, yo, old geezer Barioth has quite the armor set up. It actually looks quite good. Now, the thing is, this armor is closer reminiscent to that of his G-Rank variant that we all know and love. The one that we actually really wanted Barioth himself to actually have, as opposed to the high rank like one they had before. The beta version really fills that niche out for people. The alpha, I mean, essentially is close to the same thing, but you get fuzzies on your feet and you get a new helmet, which, I mean, not too bad. And of course, the weight's a little bit different, but nevertheless, one thing to really note from this is that the armor itself is truly just like hammer armor, which is really dope. So let's take a look at the skills here. So off the Fang, off the rip, we're looking at his first art, which is the Fang Absolute Art, which gives us Punishing Draw. Now, if you guys know anything about Punishing Draw, it adds a little bit of attack power to your overall weapon, which is really cool. That's actually a buff they actually get to Punishing Draw. That's a newer thing, but on top of that, it gives you a bit more stunning power to your drawing attacks, which is fine, which also works very well with the hammers. Now, his 3 is an addition to the Slugger skill. I think 2 more points to Slugger, which gives a maximum of 60% more stun power to your attacks. Other than that, we're looking at a pretty standard fare: crit eye 4, attack boost 4, quick sheath 2, crit draw 2, all like par for the course for when you really want to run a pretty decent hammer set. Now, the thing is, you don't need to look at this armor as like super end game armor, and it's really not. It's one of those armors you make like right after you beat what's that monster, Sharon, I think, the quote unquote story end game boss, and you start to really come to your own. Yeah, because it's a very, very good armor set that's geared directly towards hammers, and you can also put a bunch of other stuff in it if you like. So, I mean, it works. It gets the job done in my whole honest opinion. But frankly, your boy is not a hammer user, so we're going to run the beta joint, which is what I'm already running right now. Honestly, all I'm really going to get out of this is Punishing Draw, and truth be told, to be 100% honest with you guys, I kind of feel like just getting one piece in here just for the Punishing Draw is good enough. I would probably run the chest piece, because it's 3 attack, and then you get Punishing Draw, which gives you a bit more attack, and then you just gem in one more attack gem somewhere, and then you get the affinity boost as well. So I mean, it's like having attack 5 or 6 or something with just like one piece. So it's actually a pretty decent set ability to have, requiring only one piece. Quite frankly, I really recommend the armor. It's very good to look at, and it's quite nice. Now, outside of the armor, the weapons themselves are actually pretty useful as well. His weapons, I do have the lance. I'm on my way to make the gun lance, but I will say this about the lance itself. The lance, if you really look at it, it's basically his normal lance, but you lose 15% affinity, but you gain more element, you gain much more attack, you gain much more sharpness, so it was definitely worth it. Now, another monster's weapon that actually really scales quite nicely to this is Vanilla Ice, or Velcana, I think it's pronounced. But the one thing that this monster weapon has over it is sharpness, and I believe ice as well. So it's basically, let me find it, here it is. It's basically this, but more sharpness and more ice. So wait, more sharpness, more element, more affinity. It's literally just like flat out better than Velkhana. So yeah, oh wait, Velkhana does have a slot, but Saber Fang doesn't have a slot. So whatever. I don't really think it matters that much. I still think this is the better weapon. So if you really like Velkhana weapons, but you're thinking, you know, it'd be nice to have a little bit more oomph, here you go. The weapons really work out in this regard. Oh, and I guess I should note for you Charge Blade guys and you Gun Lance guys, we're looking at impact for the Charge Blade, and we're looking at normal 7 for the Gun Lance, if you need to know that information. But other than that, yeah, the gear's pretty good. I recommend it, especially for those coming in shortly after beating the game. And for those of us who are super in-game, I know we can make some juice out of this, you know, because we're really creative like that. We can make some really nice mix sets to make this a very, very, very good armor set with some really cool aesthetics and some great abilities. So all in all, Get Off My Lawn Barioth is actually a very, very fun monster to fight. I really dig his armor. I really dig his weapons. Everything about him is actually really cool. He's a pretty difficult fight, don't get it twisted, but he's not like this super uber annoying thing. You know, he does have a couple of weaknesses to him, like things that you can actually just sit down and do. I mean, he's not impossible to solo. Your very first time over, you may card once or twice. I actually carded twice, but my first card was the real one. The second one, I got caught in an animation. I was trying to take a potion or something, but instead I got caught in his tail carving animation. And I couldn't, I know you can like get out of it really quickly, whatever, if you just like dodge roll, but it wouldn't let me dodge roll. So I just got stuck in the animation and then he just killed me. Then again, I couldn't see the tail because I was looking at him and I was running off screen. And as I started pressing buttons, I hit the button to carve the tail or whatever. And yeah, I had to face that out. I take that out. Anyway, I'll show a clip of it somewhere, probably at the end of the video. But all in all, this Viagra is still not working. Barioth is a very good monster. Give him a shot. He could be a lot of people's favorites. For those of you who like Barioth or cat-like monsters, this is probably the best one since Lucid Nargacuga, in my whole honest opinion. I really love this guy. I'm going to go fight him some more on Xbox. So, yeah, there's really not much else to say. He's a very tough fight. You know, he has very good skills on his armor set. If you guys really like Hammer or Charge Blade for that matter, this could be a monster that, or this could be an armor set you can use to like knock monsters out for free. Like, I don't know the true effectiveness of it with all this extra stun out here, but if it's actually as good as it looks, then yo, there we are. Someone in the comment section, especially a Hammer user, probably Gobi, let me know what you think about the armor set itself. Let me know if it's a slappy type of sluggery, knocky outy armor set thingy that makes you slappy, knocky outy monsters very, very, very much like. But with that being said, everyone, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked the video, hit the like button. I was gonna say, yo, if you like the video, you know what? No. If you liked the video, hit the dislike button. There we go. If you liked this video, hit the dislike button. I haven't done that in a while. I usually do it when I'm feeling irate about a particular monster. And I actually really, really, really like this monster. But let's see if people are paying attention. If you're paying attention, if you made it to the end of the video, hit the dislike button. Because I said so. I'm weird sometimes. Yeah, but anyway, guys, see you all next time. I have a video coming up for you guys day after tomorrow. Stay tuned. It's been your boy.